Here is what people do not tell you about the new M1 iPad Pro. And I get it, it's like dating. If you only have 4 toes, then it's probably not a good idea to bring this up in your very first conversation with your potential new partner or ever. Eventually it will catch up with you and it will come out, so there is that. Why do you think Apple's adverts are now at the same level as when you watch a movie trailer for James Bond? There is a tactic and a reason behind it, and hands up, I totally love watching it. What people don't want to do is look behind the curtain because they may not like what they see, but luckily you have us. We're gonna remove the curtain for you today. What I am going to show you right now is what people want you to see, and they don't want you to look further than that. What I'm going to show you is an IDC study, which is a really high professional company. And this is about the Q4 results for the tablet shipment worldwide. Apple once again led the tablet market with 36.5% market share and year-over-year growth of 19.5% during Q4 2020. Well done. Samsung retained second place with 19.4% share and exceptional year-over-year growth of 44.9%. Also, well done. So Apple and Samsung grew fast in Q4 last year, 2020, as the numbers show 45% for Samsung year-over-year versus 20% year-over-year for Apple, and that is really a considerable amount during the pandemic. And look, a lot of people use those numbers to justify their own desire for certain companies. However, most of them leave out the following fact to fabricate their own interpretation. 10 years ago, listen to this, 10 years ago, the market share for Apple's iPads were around 62%, give or take. Think about it, 62%. Samsung's market share 10 years ago at the very same time for their Android tablets was around 7%. 7 versus 62%. Yes, only 7%. The market share as of today, Apple has currently 35% versus Samsung with 20%. So I'm going to put this into different wording here. Over the last decade, Apple has lost half of their market share. Samsung has more than doubled their market share when it comes to Android tablets. And my friends, that's a nice peek behind the curtain. We could actually stop right now, but there is more. According to many publications and other YouTubers, the brand new M1 iPad Pro will basically crush every single competition or every single other tablet that's coming out, including Samsung. So you know what? Let's do a deep dive. What many people don't understand is demographics and target audience. It doesn't matter what a company thinks will shake up the market, and granted, Steve Jobs was the only one who could pull it off. If a customer or a potential customer is not buying a product, well, tough luck. The reality is that the lion's share of iPad sales is basically in the US, and that's a fact. And the lion's share of the Android tablet market, especially Samsung, is in the Asian market. However, both companies have strong footprints in Europe or other continents in addition to what I just said. There are 2 reasons why Apple is creating these over-the-top product adverts that really can compete with any movie trailer out there. Number 1, the US is their main market, and it simply sells. People like that, and this is what it is. But to me, number 2 is even more important because, again, that is the look behind the curtain. Number 2 reason is that it is a distraction of the reality. And the reality is that the M1 iPad Pro is extraordinarily fast. It has mini LED, Thunderbolt 3 connection. Yes, we know all of that. 5 studio quality microphones, new camera with center stage, 5G, and so on. And it probably sounds like a paradox what I just said, but let me reveal my intentions here. Think about the following. There's just one question I really want to ask you. How will the 2000-ish iPad Pro change your life and or working routine? Let it sink. The answer most likely is it depends what demographic you are in. What is it you can do faster with the M1 chip in the iPad Pro? And it is the most powerful chip we've ever seen in the iPad. Can you watch movies faster? No. Can you do faster video calls? Probably also fat. No. Will it help you to take notes better or faster? No. Also no. Will you be able to surf the internet faster? Maybe. Word documents, create Word documents, maybe also. But video editing and rendering, will this be faster? Absolutely. 100% sure. And now you can even plug in a $6,500 display that works. So look, I think that the M1 iPad Pro is a really fantastic device, and when you can afford that $6,500 display, then I'm sure that $2,500 top version of the iPad Pro is basically just peanuts to you. I'm gonna make this bold statement: I do not think it will compete with a Tab S8 for one simple reason, and that is demographics. The demographic is basically very, very different, and I know there are people at the beginning of this journey, they're choosing one device or another, and for you guys out there, I want to finish this with the IDC article I started earlier, and this will basically tell you everything you need to know to make a decision. And let's start with Apple again. Here, with the pandemic restriction still in effect and remote learning still the primary mode of teaching, there were several big deployments of iPads in the education segment. The one key takeaway here is the big deployment in the education segment, which means a whole lot of iPads have been sold to schools. Let's move on to Samsung, and it says, meanwhile, the vendor's earnest efforts at making Android more productive and usable in a detachable form factor have helped the brand maintain a premium over other Android competitors. And two things I took on board here, two words that came out here. Number one is productivity, number two is detachable. And you see what IDC describes for Apple and what IDC describes for Samsung are two different, very different use cases. Guys, my mission is to elevate the information on YouTube to a level that goes beyond shiny objects. Thank you for watching, and let me know in the comments below, what do you think to the new iPad Pro, the M1 chip, to the whole shebang here, and more importantly, to our infinitive debate of which one is better. Peace out.